Hi everyone, I am in Paris, France. Hi everyone, I just came back from Paris. I had a blast, and I think it was one of the best trips I've been on. But to tell you the truth, I was not exactly excited about it when we first, planned our trip. I felt like Paris was not for me, and it just has nothing to offer. But something happened during our 2 week stay there that changed my attitude about the city and most importantly about life itself. Of course, many people, don't like Paris just like there are people who just don't like New York or London. But this is not about that. Here's what it's about. So we went to France in February because my husband wanted to take a French class in Rouen, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from Paris by train. And we were planning to spend just one night in Paris the day we arrive and another night before returning to the US. But then my husband suggested we stay, 3 nights instead of one before returning to the US. We hadn't been to Paris in years, as we usually go to the south of France. I went along even though I was not excited about it. Paris to me was too crowded, and every time I was there, I felt rushed and, pressure to do something. So we got to Paris. The good thing was it was not that cold. The bad thing was we almost got scammed by a taxi right after landing. Even though the hotel I picked for us to stay for one night was nice and convenient for catching the train the following morning, it was right next to the train station. So it was pretty loud, there were a lot of people, lots of cars, always busy, just exactly like I imagined it would be. This was a weird feeling because when I was in high school and college, Paris was like a dream. I even studied French so that one day I could visit this amazing city. Then I forgot all about Paris after we arrived in Rouen, where we spent 2 blissful weeks in a great apartment that allowed us to live like temporary locals. I had so much fun in Rouen and Normandy and didn't think much about Paris. But on the last few days of our stay in Rouen, something happened. As I was scrolling down my Facebook feed, Facebook memories came up. There was a post of me and my husband celebrating our anniversary at a French restaurant in Clifton, which is about 20 minutes from our house. Another post was us eating lunch at the French bakery Paul at Tyson Square area. Other posts were of the same theme, which was me wanting to be somewhere else. And that bothered me a lot. It was clear I was not enjoying my life as much as I thought I was. So that moment, something in me shifted. I decided to stop wanting to be somewhere else. I decided to enjoy every single moment wherever I was. So by the time we arrived in Paris, I was a different person. Funny how things change in a matter of days. 2 weeks prior, I couldn't wait to leave Paris, but now I couldn't wait to explore the city. I began to notice every little thing that delighted me, like the stunning architecture that suddenly popped up as we cruised by in a taxi, or a medieval tower that seems to appear out of nowhere as I went shopping, or all the classic French bistros and eateries with diverse menus like milk tea and noodles. I realized Paris managed to mix old and new and make it chic like no other cities. The following morning, I wanted to have breakfast and hot chocolate at Garret at Place des Vosges, and so we went. I enjoyed every single sip of the hot chocolate and every bite of the delicious toasted baguette. It was the best tartine I've ever had. Then we headed to the opera. We had never been inside the opera house before, so we decided to book a tour to see it with our own eyes. As the guide explained the details of this masterpiece of architecture, I got a bit emotional. I couldn't believe how blessed I was to get to be here and marvel at the beauty in front of me. So, during the tour, I almost cried because it was just breathtaking. I mean, every detail, and I think I just feel, blessed and grateful that I got to see. That's it. I wondered if I would have the same reaction if I was my old self 2 weeks before. I don't think so. It was clear my changed attitude made me happier. And then we had a delicious lunch at a restaurant near the opera to top off our visit. As we had a few hours in the afternoon, we headed over to Cannavalet Museum, which is the official museum of the city of Paris. Funny how I came to Paris many times but never heard of it until someone on Instagram mentioned it's a garden cafe, and that got my attention. I love food and I'm a sucker for beautiful gardens, and so garden cafes are my thing. We went there even though I knew the cafe would be closed because it was winter, but I also wanted to see the exhibit, so we went. Surprisingly, the cafe sold light snacks even though it was not fully open, so you see people hanging out in the garden. The place was absolutely peaceful and beautiful. Look behind me. This is proof that the French have a better life than the rest of us. We spent about 2 hours at the museum and couldn't see everything. I was determined to go back to finish the exhibit and eat in the garden when it's nice out. The following day was also magical, not because it was full packed of things to do, quite the opposite. We didn't have anything planned, and I later learned that this is how you do Paris. You should have just, days that you could wander around the city and just observe. The French even have a word for that particular activity, flâner. So that's what we did. Like, for example, after breakfast, I found this shop that has the most beautiful scarves. I fell in love with the one on display, and so I asked a French lady to teach me how to tie it. The moment she put the scarf on me and began to tie a knot, I became emotional. Yep, I was emotional for 2 days in a row. Not only because I think I look cute with my new scarf, but because I found this a form of self-care the French way. And I felt like I have arrived. I now fully understand the art of French living. Then we walked over to Notre Dame Cathedral that has reopened after closing for several years due to a fire. It was so beautiful. But we didn't get in and, just walk along the sand. I greatly enjoyed the view of the river and the grand buildings and, fellow visitors. I also had fun browsing the books and posters in these iconic green metal boxes that have lined the sand for hundreds of years. There are 240 booksellers known as bouquinistes and 900 boxes. In 2019, they were recognized as a UNESCO heritage site, showcasing Paris' art of living, where history, literature, and heritage come together. And we flâné further to the Tuileries Garden. We picked a spot to sit and enjoy the last rays of sunshine. We left Paris the following morning. Even though I can't wait to go back to the City of Light, I was happy to reunite with my cat who was waiting for me patiently at home. In the meantime, I will continue to appreciate every single moment in my life wherever I am. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!